This episode is for you if something recent happened and you had a huge emotionally triggering response to it and you don't even know why you reacted the way you did. If you went into defensive reactive mode, maybe you immediately responded with a nasty, hurtful comeback, and then you asked yourself later, why did I do that? Like, why was I even triggered by what happened? Or you may have been triggered and felt so much like an emotional wave just shot through your entire body and your heart rate went up and you were in fight or flight mode. But instead of reacting and lashing out, you felt attacked and had the reaction of, I need to leave this space right now, and either avoided what just happened or left the situation, but now you're left wondering why you had such a strong reaction. Hello, and welcome to this safe space. I'm your host, Heather, and on this podcast, I share with you ways to move past trauma, anxiety, and stress so you can reclaim your energy and live a more peaceful inner life. So I want you to think of triggers as your body's way of giving you a message. Here's an easy way of explaining this. Let's say you bumped into the corner of a table a few days ago, and the bruise is still there. You're still tender from it, and someone comes over and pokes you right in the bruise. You're going to have a stronger reaction to that versus if they poked you where you don't have a bruise or an injury. This is exactly what triggers are. Something from your past left a bruise. Maybe you aren't even aware of it, of the lingering effect of it, but then someone says something or does something that relates to that past trauma or situation, and it's like they poked your bruise. So triggers cause an emotional response within you, and depending on how deep or bad the wound is, your emotional response may equal that depth. Triggers show us where you have unprocessed emotional wounds. Your response can be a defense mechanism because someone hit your wound, and to defend against any more pain, you lash out, maybe try to turn the situation on someone, to deflect the pain back to whomever caused it, to fight, even when they may not deserve the reaction you dished out. But to you, it's like uncovering the wound and causing more pain. So in the heat of the moment, to you, it feels warranted. Your reaction is actually towards your past experience, not the one right in front of you. Because if the past situation was resolved, healed, was worked through, you wouldn't have responded the way you did to the current situation. Your response could also be to shrink, to hide, to run away from the situation. Maybe the wound they poked at is too big and you feel overwhelmed by the situation, and you learned in your past that you're not able to fight back. So your initial response is to disappear, disassociate, to shrink, or to run. So how do we handle these? Firstly, we want to find the root of why this is so emotionally triggering to us. So we can ask some questions such as, what does this situation remind me of? Did this challenge a belief I have? Or when have I felt this before? This part may take some introspection. Then once you find the root, we want to validate and feel the root emotion. So put your hand on your heart and tell yourself that you understand why you feel this way. Your feelings are valid, and allow yourself to feel the original emotion. For some, this may be really intense and you may want to reach out to your therapist. Sometimes all it takes for a trigger to dissolve is simply feel and process the emotions related to it, but some might uncover a belief system that you want to rewire. For example, if the emotion that came up showed you that you believe you aren't good enough, then you might want to spend some time coming up with a new belief that you can start to replace the old with. But when it comes to belief systems, especially one that like you're not good enough, there's going to be something in your past that made you feel that way. So addressing that, reparenting yourself around that past situation is definitely something that can help with this. And then replacing the old one with a new one, such as, I've always been good enough just as I am. Now, if you just keep telling yourself that before you've rewired it and you believe it yourself, it's really not going to help, just because your brain is going to be like, but no, that's not true. Something to help you with this would be to start to tell yourself, okay, so we're going with the I'm not good enough. So I want you to sit and tell yourself, and if you have a mirror and you can look yourself in the eyes when you do this, this is great. But look yourself in the eyes and say, I am good enough just as I am. And when you do this, really listen to your inner voice and what comes up for you when you say this. This will point you to why you might not believe this yet. And that gives you a starting point on what to work with. And it may just bring you right back to the situation from your past that made you feel that way. So reparenting, going back to that younger version of yourself and working with the younger version of yourself can definitely help. So one way to start rewiring your brain for this new belief is to also find things that validate the new belief. So let's say you found the root cause of this belief system and you've done a little bit of work with it and you've processed the emotions, but now you really want to just rewire your brain for this, validating the new belief. So if you believed, so the new belief is, I am worthy just as I am. So I want you to ask yourself, take someone else, look at someone else and ask yourself, are they good enough just as they are? And if you say yes, figure out why you said yes. Is it because you know that they're doing the best that they can? Figure out what makes you believe that someone else is good enough just as they are, and then look at yourself. Are you doing your best? If they're doing their best and you deem them worthy and enough just being them doing their best, and you're doing your best, that must mean that you're also good enough, right? So find ways of validating this new belief. And during this whole process, never forget to be kind to yourself. You really want to be kind and compassionate with yourself the entire road of reprogramming, rewiring, working through triggers. Don't get caught up on the blame of the reaction that you had in the past or recently. I want you to be compassionate towards yourself. You reacted the way you did because of what's happened in the past. Okay, so that was like, and triggers are like, they're fast, they're quick, they're intense. So forgive yourself for reacting if you did, like move on past that and just be kind to yourself. If this episode helped you, but you want me to go deeper into the rewiring part of new belief systems, please let me know in the comments and don't forget to subscribe so you'll be notified when it comes out. And until next time, have a wonderful day.